Hello everyone. Hi. Thanks for joining me on this making of video. The series where we have this short conversation around what was behind my mind on the recording or the creation of the music postcards. And as you may already know, we are this making of is about postcard number 3, which took the song Españolerias for the music of it. Some of you may know or may not know about Españolerias because, well, first of all, Españolerias is a song from a very famous Mexican composer. You may know him for other pieces that he created. The most famous, I believe, is Granada, which is not the case of the song we are taking for the postcard today, but we are taking a wonderful song, as I was just saying, called Españolerias. Maybe I would like to make a pause here and tell or share with you that even though Agustin Lara, of course, was Mexican and born in one of the states that are in the Gulf of Mexico. He was born in Veracruz, according to most of the biographers. Well, there are a couple of people who disagree on the place where he was born, but well, that is not meaningful at this point. But what you can read in his biography is that he was very interested and not only interested, but maybe also in love with Spain. And despite the fact that he hadn't traveled to Spain yet, he had already wrote some of his most famous songs, and they were about Spain itself. So with that love that he had for the country of Spain is that he wrote Españolerias, because in fact Españolerias is a word, at least in Spanish, that derives or that makes reference to Spanish things. With that reference to the Españolerias or the Spanish content, is that he wrote this very amazing song. And also, following the drill, as I had done in the past, I would like to share with you how is it that I fell in love with this song. And for that purpose, we need to go back for a good number of years already. I was very young then. I am not of now, of course, but I used to be very young. I believe that the first time I attended a concert of Rodolfo Acosta. Rodolfo Acosta is the tenor that I heard this song the very first time sung by him. I believe it must have been around 2006, 2005. Those must be the years that when you see 15, 16 years almost from the very first time that I heard his song, this song interpreted by him. And I remember that not only for this song, but in general, I like Rodolfo Acosta's voice very much. If you do a quick search on YouTube or Google to experience some of the again very few recordings, unfortunately, of this Mexican tenor. There is not enough material of him in the web. I wish there was more. Well, but going to that, uh, if you do a quick search on his voice, you will find that he has a lyrical tenor voice, a very beautiful lyrical tenor voice. And I also remember that for the many times that I saw him singing, it was always for sure that the results would be great. He not only he has this very beautiful voice that he masters to perfection. He knows his voice very well. He knows what his voice can do, and of course he makes the most of it. And you will find that all his interpretations, mainly, at least from my point of view, of the Mexican songs, are wonderful, are very difficult to compare to others because Rodolfo not only masters his instrument, his voice very well, but also he likes to understand the music and makes the songs like if they had been tailored for him. And for that, I am very lucky to share with you that I still keep a recording of one of his performances. I tried to look for the date I recorded it. Unfortunately, I didn't find when it had been recorded, but I believe it must have been at least 10 years ago. And well, I believe that the first thing that we have to do is to listen to his rendition of the song. Of course, I would like to go back to that point again where I have told you in the past that most of these recordings are very low quality. Unfortunately, there's not been unfortunately, too many recordings with good equipment, but I think this will do. Many background noise, some low quality recording, but I hope you will enjoy. And I'm leaving most of the song for all us to listen and to enjoy it. Of course, the pianist is very good. He's great as well. I do not have the note of who it was, unfortunately. And now I am thinking that it would be a very good idea to put the score on the screen so that we can follow what he's actually singing. You have already noticed that people are clapping. And of course, you can listen to that the audience is very enthusiastic with this rendition of Rodolfo Acosta. But before we leave Rodolfo Acosta, I would like to mention one more thing about him. Not only about his voice and the very good taste that he has when singing music, It is also that he's a very gentle guy that communicates with the public all the times. I remember him smiling at the public, inviting them to join with clapping or making faces to keep people interested in what he's actually singing. Um, I wish we had more Rodolfo Acostas around. Well, let's leave it there for him. So that's how I learned about the song, and that's how I chose to have this song for the third postcard. We have already talked about Agustin Lara, and now it's time to go to the score. And again, I would like to insist on what I have shared with you earlier or in the previous videos, that when you start reading the music, there is something that every time you do it, there is something you learn. And now I am recalling that I had heard from Maria Callas when she said that you should always keep your score at hand, because there is always something you can learn from the composer. Every time you revisit or you go back to the score, you notice something that you hadn't noticed in the past. And to start going through a very short review or analysis of what I had found, you will notice that it starts with the voice that says. I will not be translating everything. I will just take a couple of the phrases that are actually being sung. I am not very good at translating. That is also very important to know. Um, and well, the phrase patio que huele a noviazgo, a coplas y a rosas y a flores de azar. Before we go into the translation, I would like to call your attention on the rhythm of this phrase, because you will notice that it is written the same number of notes for each of the and I just forgot what the word in English is. Oh, the measures. Yeah, for each of the measures, of course, has the same number of notes. And but I would like also to make you notice something, at least for those who speak Spanish or who are very familiar with the language. These measures fall in perfectly into place on how would we actually say it in Spanish, because we would say patio que huele a noviazgo, a coplas y a rosas y a flores de azar. A little longer with the azar, but it is very, very natural. There is absolute perfection in how it is written. Patio que huele a noviazgo y a coplas y a rosas y a flores de azar. We really don't have to change anything about the rhythm and how you're actually doing it. But now, when we talk about how you want to actually make the interpretation of it, that's when you start thinking. And my first thoughts were that patio que huele a noviazgo, a coplas y a rosas y a flores de azar shouldn't be sung. In fact, the entirety of almost most of the song, at least the beginning, should be sung with a with an intention, but with a very intimate way of expressing this, because you cannot go again into full voice like patio que huele a novias, because it is at least from my perspective, it sounds like you're natural, like not really flowing on how the song should be sung. But I think that it has to go, as I was just saying, more intimate, like patio que huele a noviazgo, a coplas y a rosas y a flores de azar. And it is different. Of course, one has to place the voice better, but I just wanted to give you an example on how, although on what my thoughts were. And then you go for the second phrase that goes, La noche escapa española que con su negrura te supo embosar. And we have the same effect here. The length and the number of notes is the same, but it is also very natural when speaking Spanish. La noche escapa española que con su negrura te supo embosar. And when you translate it into English, what we are talking about, the patio, the yard, the patio that smells like noviazgo. Noviazgo is a word that we use in Spanish to refer to the relationship when two people fall in love, when they are lovers. So this is a patio that smells like this love that two people have. couples and roses, and yes, these are flowers, which, as you can see, once you start translating, and remember that I am not very good at translating, it has already too many words. So it loses the rhythm and the cadence when you translate it, but in Spanish it sounds perfectly well. And then it goes to the night, la noche escapa española. This makes reference, again, very difficult to translate because what it says that when you use this cape, this Spanish cape, then the night is a Spanish cape that with the blackness uh, can cover you. Embosar makes reference to, like I'm trying to make this, like imagine that I have in my hand this cape, and that when I say embosar, what I say is that I am covering part of my face. That's what embosar means. So the phrase fully means that the night is like a Spanish cape that is as black that it can cover your face. That's what it means, and it is a very very nice way to open the song. And as I was just sharing it, I also think that it has to be very intimate because the content of the words goes like that as well. Yeah, if you agree, it says like La noche escapa española que con su negrura te supo embosar. From my perspective, it has to be like this, of course, again with the voice better placed, but the example is that it has to be very intimate instead of going like que con su negrura te supo embosar. And then there is a very interesting change. You may have already noticed it in the song that goes from this very intimate low pacing into this more this faster rhythm, and this rhythm is very interesting because then you have to say too many words in a very short period of time. And it goes, como un clavel que revienta tu boca sangrienta un beso me dio. You make a pause, y en ese beso quedaron las noches, las coplas, las rosas y yo. You make a pause, tras de las rejas de encajes los tiestos y flores pudieron oír. You make a pause, lo que en un majo suspiro, suspiro del alma te quiso decir. You have four more measures of music, and then you go again with this rhythm. Repicar, repicar de castañuelas que el patio gitano de fiesta llenó. Very small pause. Beso que ha sido el más mío, aquel que tu boca temblando me dio. Very short pause. Algo que fue más que un beso. You go slow again. Algo que fue más que un beso. You are coming from beso que ha sido el más mío, aquel que tu boca temblando me dio. Algo que fue más que un beso. You see, you go slower again. Algo que es más que besar. And then also, not only you're going slower, but now from my perspective, you go very intimate again. After going fast and higher in volume, then you're going back to slow and going to intimate, lower volume. Algo que es más que besar, you for a very short period of time you go high again because now you're enthusiastic talking about the kiss, and it says beso que dejó en mi vida guitarras y coplas y flores de azar. And that's basically how the song goes from an intimate low voice, patio que huele a noviazgo, a coplas, a rosas y a flores de azar, in a very natural way of speaking in Spanish. You then go very fast, como un clavel que revienta tu boca sangrienta, un beso me dio, y en ese beso quedaron la noche, las coplas, las rosas y yo. Tras de las rejas de encajes los tiestos y flores pudieron oír, lo que en un majo suspiro, suspiro del alma te quiso decir. Repicar de castañuelas que el patio gitano de fiesta llenó, beso que ha sido el más mío, aquel que tu boca temblando me dio. Algo, then again slow and intimate, algo que fue más que un beso, algo que es más que besar, and then you wrap up, higher volume and enthusiastic, beso que dejó en mi vida guitarras y coplas y flores de azar. I hope you enjoyed this song the same way I enjoy it. Of course, I did like a thousand changes when rehearsing it, and every time I put emphasis in one sentence or phrase or syllable, then I changed something else. I increased volume here, then I decreased somewhere else, and well, Hope you enjoyed, and of course, like in the previous videos, I'm not expecting everyone to agree with my interpretation and doing it, but what I would like to enjoy is that maybe you learned about the song and you want to adventure into doing your own version, and that's what music is actually about, right? Thanks everyone, and I will see you hopefully sometime soon.